Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
In the delicate arena of compliance, every conversation matters. Traditional methods can leave callers feeling unheard, but Ethico changes the game. Our empathetic interview technique reshapes compliance calls into powerful, compassionate interactions, ensuring no crucial detail is missed. It's about creating a conversation that matters, that resonates, that makes a difference. Be the change in your compliance approach. See the transformation for yourself at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo, try our free ROI calculator, and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, The ROI of Compliance.
The Daily Compliance News for March 1, 2024. Yes, it's the 3rd month of this year. The Gemini returns $1 billion plus edition. We begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal that the crypto exchange Gemini is going to return $1.1 billion to customers in a regulator settlement and also pay $37 million over its compliance failures. The New York financial regulator, the Department of Financial Services, said Gemini has agreed to return at least $1.1 billion to users of the crypto exchange investment program and to pay about $37 million in fines. Gemini failed to oversee and vet its partner in the EARN program, now bankrupt crypto lender Genesis Global Capital, whose bankruptcy prevented some 200,000 EARN customers from accessing their virtual currency. The regulator also found other deficiencies in Gemini's compliance program, its management oversight, including customer due diligence and internal audit. Gemini is co-founded by the twins Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, made famous in the Facebook story. Next up, from the Financial Times, in a very interesting article by Gillian Tett, a green audit is coming for a company near you. Green audits never used to attack accountants, but last week the IFRS, the Global Accounting Standards Body, experienced a first as protesters stormed a meeting in New York on giving an opinion on green audit rules. Yes, they actually stormed an auditor's meeting. While this was certainly a very big political drama, it does create challenges for the head of the IFRS and highlights the often ignored point about the 21st century. As big companies straddle borders, globalism is not always synonymous with a race to the bottom. Sometimes it could be a race to the top. We took things in a little bit different direction from the New York Times, as the Department of Justice is now looking into whether Boeing violated its 2021 DPA after a settlement of the 2 737 MAX plane crashes. If Boeing did violate the DPA, I think it will bode very poorly, and certainly the victims of the 737 crashes, I'm sure, will have something to say about the violation of the DPA. And our final story comes to us from the Chicago Sun-Times, which, believe it or not, it's the first time we've gotten an article from the Chicago Sun-Times. And the ComEd defendants believe that they will all be cut loose based upon an Indiana corruption case that is before the Supreme Court. They are telling their friends and colleagues that they expect to be exonerated, as the causes of action against them will be thrown out by the Supreme Court. Given the corruption at this Supreme Court, who knows? Happy weekend. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, this month's sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Have you ever wondered how to show the ROI of your compliance program? Have you struggled with the budgeting process, getting the funds you want for your compliance program? Well, I've partnered with Ethico to put together a white paper on the ROI of compliance, which shows you not only how to demonstrate ROI, but also how to speak finance when you're sitting across from the CFO with your budget proposals. Check out the website and get the white paper. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.